If you live in the Twin Cities, you've probably received one of these in the mail recently. It's your 2024 property tax evaluation notice from your local tax assessor. Every year when these things hit the mailbox, I start getting a lot of questions from homeowners about the difference between taxable market value, and why neither of these things seem to have anything in common with their Zestimate. That's the amount Zillow says their home is worth. In this video, I'm going to explain the difference between these three valuations and tell you which one more closely reflects the value you could list your home for if you were going to sell it today. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll tell you how knowing the actual market value of your home can benefit you. My name is Jay Troutlowen. I'm a Minneapolis realtor and an expert at helping home buyers and sellers navigate the Twin Cities housing market. First, I want to start out by explaining exactly how the city arrives at the taxable market value and what that means in terms of your property's worth. So the city's assessor's office calculates the estimated market value of your home based on several factors like location, size, age, condition, recent renovations, as well as comparable home sales in your area. Then they subtract any exemptions you may qualify for. The most common one is the homestead tax exemption, which is granted to owner-occupied homes. Other exemptions include the green acres and rural preserve deductions for farmland, and the veterans with disabilities and mold damage exclusions, which are pretty self-explanatory. So once your exemptions have been applied, the amount that remains is your taxable market value. This is the value that your assessor uses to calculate your property tax share. Not always, but often, your taxable market value is going to be a little different and sometimes substantially different than your market value. That, again, is the amount you could sell your home for right now. It might be lower or it might be higher. Why? Well, there are quite a few reasons for that, but the most obvious reason is that your taxable market value is your assessor's best guess at your home's value. It's based on general market trends. It's not like the assessor comes to your house every year and walks around with a checklist and makes notes. Nope. The assessor is using a statistical analysis based on common factors like the size of your home, square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms. And in years when the housing market moves a lot in one direction or another, your taxable market value may not reflect your home's actual market value. Before we get to actual market value, though, I want to talk a little bit about the Zestimate, because that is where many people go at the very beginning to see how much their home is worth. Zillow's estimate is calculated in much the same way as your taxable market value. Zillow's algorithm takes your taxable market value from public tax records and combines it with recent home sales in your area to come up with a value. Now, Zillow's estimate of your home value is likely to be a little more accurate, but that's only because their algorithm will use the most recent comparable sales, whereas the city assessor's value is probably based on some older comps. There's nobody at Zillow who's actually viewing your home to see how closely it resembles comparable homes sold. It's basically going again on bedrooms, bathroom, age, square footage, and while all of those things are important, it's still something of a blunt instrument. Let's take a look at an example. This is a South Minneapolis bungalow. It's got 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a 2-car garage, and it's about 1,650 finished square feet. Now this is a pretty common home configuration in this part of Minneapolis, so it's not that hard to comp. The city's most recent valuation says this home's taxable value is $303,000. Zillow calculates the home's market value at about $310,000. But as a realtor, I know that both Zillow and the city are really undervaluing this property. Why? Because the comps they're using just aren't that accurate. So how do I know that? I know that because 1, I've been in this house, and I know the updates the owners made to it since they purchased it. 2, I've been in or I've looked closely at photos of the recent homes sold so I can visually see which ones are the most similar to this home. And 3, I know the area of South Minneapolis where this home's located, and I know the neighborhood, and I also know what factors might impact a home's value from one block to the next. So let's take another look at this home. If you go just off comparable sales, as Zillow probably did, these are the 3 homes that have sold nearby recently that are statistically similar. Okay, this one does not look much like our example home. The second one is a bit closer, but it's a recent flip. And when I look at the photos of the upstairs, it seems questionable to me that this is actually legal square footage. I'm not sure there's enough ceiling height. And I know that our example home has a full second story. And our third comp is a 2.5-story house that really looks nothing like our example home. So in addition to the fact that these comps are quite a bit different than our example house, I also know that homes on the block where the example house is are on a quiet street that tees to a local park, and they generally sell for more than homes in other parts of this neighborhood. So if I'm going to value this house, and I have the comps to do it, I'm going to look at home sales on this block. And in this case, I can. These homes have all sold on this block or within a block of this house in the past year, except one, which sold off market 13 months ago. Now, normally, as a realtor, I like to use comparable sales within the last 6 months. But the housing market was really slow last year, and there just aren't enough comparable sales in that time frame. So for me, it's better to go back in time than to use comps that are not like the house that you're trying to compare. So using these comps, we can see that we have a similar house that sold for $375,000, another for $360,000, and 2, including that one off-market sale, that sold for $420,000. So if I use these 3 comparable sales and I look closely at these homes, I estimate the market value of our example home at about $375,000. That is a lot higher than either the city or Zillow valued this home. But I'm certain it's also a much more accurate assessment of this home's value. So now you can see how different assessed value and market value and a Zestimate can really be. So now it's time for my pro tip. How can knowing the actual market value benefit you? If you feel like your home is being overassessed, you can contest your assessment, but you're going to need to make your case using the most accurate market analysis of your market value. And if you're considering selling your home, you're going to want to know what the actual market value is based on the most accurate and most recent analysis. So any local realtor, myself included, would be willing to provide you with a comparable market analysis of your home for free. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Please give me a like. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos on buying and selling in the Twin Cities. For now, my name is Jay Trout Lowen, and I'm here to help.